welcome back. So today I'm going to showing you how to create clean and reusable component in React, and I'm going to use Code Sandbox. Of course you can use Create React app in your local, but I'm going to use Code Sandbox by the way. And I'm going to create accordion component and try make it clean and reusable. So let's try that. So first let's create a folder inside the source. Let's say components folder. And inside these components, I'm going to create another component. Let's say accordion. And this accordion folder, I'm going to create file. Let's say accordion.js file. Alright, so in here, I'm going to generate functional pass component. Let's give a name accordion. So that equals to arrow function here, and I'm going to return. For now, let's just say div, and let's just say text here. Let's say accordion. Okay, and let's export default accordion. All right, so now we can use this accordion component inside the app. Let's remove this h2 here, and let's put the accordion component like so. Now we should see accordion here. So let's go back to accordion component here, and I'm going to cut this div and put down here, and inside the div I'm going to create a button. Let's say button, and in this button I'm gonna give a text called header. Let's say header and plus. Okay, when I click this button, I want to expand the accordion content. Let's say div, and this is gonna be the content of the accordion. For now, let's just say this is content. All right, so but as you can see, it's not work for now, and we need to create the toggle function that showing and hide this content. So now let's create the state here. Let's say const, let's give a name expand. Now let's say set expand, set that equals to use state. By default I'm going to put false. Alright, so in this button here, let's create on click event. Let's say on click, set that equals to, and the function name is going to be toggle expand. Alright, so let's create the function const, let's say toggle expand, set that equals to arrow function here, and I'm going to set the expand into, I'm going to grab the previous expand, and let's change the value into previous expand. Okay, if the expand here false, gonna be changed that to true. If true, gonna change that to false. All right, so now I'm going to console log the expand. Okay, let's see, console is gonna be false right now, and if I click true false. Okay, so now we can just put the condition here. Let's say expand true, we need to showing this div here. Okay, and here we go, it's working. Let's remove this console. So now let's styling this little bit. I'm going to add the class name here, so that equals to accordion, and in this content here I'm going to add the class name, set that equals to content. All right, so let's go to style.css. I'm gonna paste in here the simple CSS code, and as you can see here, it's gonna be look like this, but I forget the span. Inside the button here, it should be have a span tag. Let's say span, like so, and it's gonna be plus here. Okay, it's gonna be like this, but this plus here is gonna be changed to minus if the content is showing up. Okay, so we need to add condition as well in here. Let's make it small, this sidebar here, and in here what I'm gonna do, let's say if the expand is true, I want to use minus, and then else I'm gonna use plus. Okay, so now as you can see, if the content is showing up here, it's gonna be minus plus minus plus. All right, cool. As you can see here, this state returning a boolean value, true and false. If we have another component that returning true and false in the state, we can create use toggle hooks to handle that. So for example, I'm going to create another component called editable. So now, as you can see here, we have the title and the edit button. If I click the edit, we have the input field. Let's say hello. If I click submit, we get the hello here and edit button here. Okay, submit, edit, submit, edit. All right. So now, as you can see, the accordion here have a state with value boolean, true and false, and in editable as well. Okay, so it's good to have a hooks that returning a boolean, right? So we need to create a use toggle hook. So let's go to source folder, and I'm going to create file, this folder first. I'm going to create hooks. Okay, and inside this hook folder, I'm going to create a file called use toggle. Let's say toggle.js file. So in here, I want to export cons use toggle so that it goes to arrow function, and in here I'm going to returning the status and the function, which is toggle status. Okay, we don't have yet, so let's create in here. The first thing, we are going to create the state. Let's say status and set status so that it goes to use state. By default it's gonna be false. All right, so we returning here. Okay, and the toggle status is basically a function. Let's create a function here, cons toggle status so that it goes to arrow function, and we are going to set the status. We are gonna grab the previous status and we are going to change the value into previous status. All right, so cool. So now we can save this, and let's go back to accordion, and as you can see here, I'm gonna remove the use state here. But first, let's say cons. Let's do status and toggle status so that it goes to use toggle. Okay, and just make sure you import up here. I'm going to remove this expand and set expands like so, and you can change this expand to status and this set expand to toggle status, this toggle expand to toggle status, but we can just directly change the name, status to expand and toggle status to this function here, toggle expand. Okay, so let's put in here toggle expand, and now we don't need this function here. And as you can see, if I click header, it's still working. Okay, pretty cool. We don't have use state here, we don't need that, and it's still working. Okay, still working here. So let's go back to in editable component, and we need to do same exactly thing here. So let's do cons, let's say status, and let's do toggle status so that it goes to use toggle here like so, and we can change the name here into editable and this toggle status into toggle editable. Okay, so we can change like so. Now we don't need this editable state and we don't need this toggle editable function. All right, so now as you can see, it's still working here. Let's say hello world. As you can see, still working, and our code is more clean, right? So now I want to change the header and the content here depend on the props we're sending in these apps. All right, in this app component. So in here I'm gonna do title so that it goes to, let's say, product info, and maybe product info, and I have another thing, let's say content, and I'm gonna say so that it goes to this is product info content. Okay, and we need to grab the props value in this accordion here. Let's grab that. Let's say props, and in here we can say cons destructuring the header and content. It's gonna become from the props. Let's say props. All right, so just make sure you have the, oh no, this is going to be title and content. Okay, let's say title title and content, and I can remove this header here and put the title, and I can remove this content here and put the content. All right, so now as you can see, this is still working. If I have another accordion, we can just copy and paste this. All right, in our accordion component here, we just have title and content as a props, so we need to grab the title and content in here. All right, so imagine that you have a lot of props here. You have the button true and false, you have the accordion footer. Maybe you need to put the accordion footer here, you need to add the condition, and you need to add the button condition true and false. This JSX here will be a lot of condition, and it's hard to read, it's hard to maintain. So the best way to do this is you have another component that returning, maybe this will be accordion header, this will be the accordion content. All right, so let's create the accordion header first. I'm going to create comment here. So let's say cons accordion header, so that equals to a row function here, and we are going to returning the header, which is the button here. So let's copy this and put that here, make it clean, and I'm going to render the accordion header in here. Okay, it's gonna be returned like so, and the toggle expand and the title and the expand is not defined for now. Let's send that. So we need to send the title to title, we need to send the toggle expand to toggle expand, we need to send the expand to expand. We need to grab all the props in here. So I'm going to destructuring that. So let's say cons, I want to grab the title, I want to grab the toggle expand, and the expand equals to props. All right, so now our code is still working just fine. And next, let's create the accordion content. Let's say content here, and I'm going to create the component. Let's say cons accordion content, so that equals to arrow function, and in here I'm going to return, let's say a React fragment here, let's say like so, and I'm going to copy this one line here, cut that out and put in here. Okay, and we need to put the accordion content in here like so. So in here we need to grab the expand and the content. All right, we need to destructuring first. Let's say cons expand and content. It's gonna become from props. Okay, and we need to send that. So in here we need to send the expand, so that equals to expand, and we need to send the content, so that equals to content. Okay, so let's try. Still working. It's better to put this expand and toggle expand here into the context API, so we can use in here, so we don't see a lot of props. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want this component have a lot of props. So up here I'm going to create the context. Let's give a comment. Let's say create context API. Okay, so in here I'm going to create variable called, let's say accordion context, set that equals to create context. It's gonna become from React. We don't get the auto import up here, so let's import manually. So let's say import, let's say create context from React. All right, down here we need to say cons, we grab the provider, come from the accordion context variable. let's say accordion context. And we need to wrap our div here with this provider. Because we need to use the value inside the accordion header and accordion content. So here I'm going to put the provider here, say provider, and close that. And we need to wrap everything inside this provider, which is the div here. Let's put in here. And of course, we need to send the value. Let's say value set that equals to value. Okay, and the value what we need to send is, let's say const value. What is that? Value set that equals to object. And in here I'm going to send expand and toggle expand. All right, so now in header here we can do const, we need to grab the toggle expand, and the expand come from the, we need to use context here. Okay, we need to paste in the accordion context. Just make sure you import the use context, come from React up here like so, and we need to grab the, let's say expand and let's say toggle expand. So we don't need that come from the props, but we need the expand and toggle expand come from the context. Okay, so this is still working, and of course we need to remove this thing here. All right, cool. Let's go to the accordion content, and basically we can just copy this and put that down here. So we don't need to use toggle expand in this component, and we need to remove this expand. Okay, so we need to also remove this expand props. So now this is still working, right? Pretty cool. I want to comment the editable here. All right, let's comment this as well. All right, this is still working, and now it's more easy to read. All right, in my opinion, it's better to use children. Let me show you here. I'm going to remove this title, and I'm gonna do close the accordion header component, and I'm gonna put the title here like so. And now in accordion title, I'm gonna remove the props, and I'm gonna grab the children, and I'm gonna put this title to children. Okay, and as you can see, it's still working. And also we need to do that in this accordion content as well. So accordion content, let's remove this content value and close the accordion content, and we need to put the content here, and we grab as a children. So let's remove this, and we grab the children and put the children here. Let's say children. Okay, it's still working, and as you can see, it's easy to read. All right, cool. And now I want to change the icon here. Okay, it's better to create another component that returning this pen here. So let's create the icon component. Let's say icon. So let's say const accordion icon, so that equals to arrow function, and we need to return this pen here. I'm going to cut this and put in here, and accordion icon I'm going to put in here. Okay, and in this accordion icon we need to expand variable, so we can just copy this and put that here. All right, now it's still working. Okay, and I'm going to use icon come from the React icons. Let's search for React icons, and this here. So now we need to import the icon that we need to use. So let's say import, and we grab something from react-icon/fr. Okay, and inside this import we need to import the, let's say Eva down here, and Eva chevron right. Okay, so we need to just copy this component and put into this accordion icon as a props. All right, so here we need to say icon open it, so that equals to fr chevron down, and for the icon close it, we need to use the fr chevron right. Okay, cool. I think I'm wrong. It's gonna be right here, and it's gonna be down. Alright, so now let's go to accordion icon. We need to grab the icon open and icon close. So here we need to grab the icon open and icon close. Alright, so now let's change this string here with icon open it, and this plus here with icon close. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the icon. If I click, it's beautiful. So now let's scroll up and see our accordion component look like. As you can see here, it's more clean, alright? For example, you want to add another component inside the accordion content, you can do that in here. You can add, for example, a component called, let's say, accordion, let's say, form, for example. You can do that as well in here, okay? But you get the idea, right? And let's make back to content. All right, so I think that's it for this video, guys. Hope this is helpful, and I'm really appreciate if you want to click the like button and subscribe this channel. And yeah, thank you so much, and see ya.